and good morning, everybody, and a very good morning, Anup sir. I would now request Media Committee member uh, Kaustubh to take over. Over to you, Kaustubh. Let us begin with the session.
Yes, ma'am. So, good morning, sir. Good morning, one and all. I, Kaustubh Bodas, member of Media Committee, welcome you all for today's webinar. As a part of student development activities and corporate connect, IMDR continuously organizes webinars and seminars by various industry experts. So, today among us, we have Mr. Anup Menon, Account Director and Regional Head, LinkedIn. Let me give a brief about Anup, sir. Sir has completed his post-graduation in MBA Marketing from SIES College of Management Studies. He has also completed his graduation in Hotel Management from IHM Mumbai. In July 2009, he has worked with Magna Global HR Services. In 2010, he worked with S2 Infotech Private Limited as a business development manager. Sir has also worked with TBSL, Times Business Solutions Limited, as a manager of major accounts. He has also worked with Hindustan Times and currently he is working as India Account Director and Regional Head in LinkedIn. So today, Sir is going to talk about leveraging the power of LinkedIn and he's going to share his experience and thoughts with us. We are grateful for your presence among us today, sir. Without any further additions, I would like to request Mr. Anup sir to take over. Over to you, Anup sir.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kaustubh. Pleasure. Can I share my screen on top of this, or will you
Yes.
unshare this first? Yeah.
Yes, sir, you can start.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Just give me a second. I hope y'all can see my screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah. So as you all got to know my introduction, so just a little bit addition to what Kaustubh mentioned. So currently what my focus area or what LinkedIn is doing since last few months, we have a clear focus on higher education as a vertical, so because we've seen a lot of students and campuses reaching out to us with an intention of introducing the culture of LinkedIn, because it is always important for students to start early, because people realize about LinkedIn and the importance of LinkedIn only once they get into their corporate life, which comes probably after a year or 2 years of you joining a company. So this becomes a very important avenue for you, and this becomes very necessary for a management professional to be there. So guys, without any further delays, let's quickly jump in. Few house rules, like ma'am also mentioned. Let's keep questions towards the end, because I'm sure you'll have something. If you have something coming to your mind and you fear you may forget it, just put it in your chat section and we will take it up towards the end. Yeah. So what I'm going to cover today is generic LinkedIn, but what you see on the screen is something which I would recommend everyone to use. Okay. And use it personally whenever you feel that, whenever you're giving presentations or whenever you meet somebody, what you see on the top section, if you open your LinkedIn mobile app, okay, on the top section, you see these 4 dots in the search bar. Okay. Always use that as a QR code. You can put it in your presentations, you can put it in your signatures, email signatures, and this can be a life lesson for you. Need not be today, tomorrow, even when you join your corporate world. A lot of people are doing this because that's your identity today. Yeah. Having said that, so do this probably even if you scan your mobile on the QR code which I've shown on the screen, you will get my profile. Yeah, so it's as simple as that. So this is something not many people know about it, but I really want you guys to start using this as one of our networking tools. Okay, so what are we going to do today is, getting to know about LinkedIn in general. I'm going to take you through that. Okay. About LinkedIn profile, there are certain do's and don'ts. There are certain must-haves on your profile. We're going to discuss that. Networking, again, do's and don'ts of networking, because a lot of people reach out to us with generic questions of, what is the right way to network? Can I do this? Can I do that? So on LinkedIn, there are several things which are yes for person A and no, the same thing no for person B. So we can probably discuss that. Launching your career is learning new skills, because LinkedIn is something which is introducing the concept of skill learning, which is today most of the students are accepting it, are finding it very relevant in their entire journey of their student life within the college. Perfect. So let's get in. Okay. Now, so what is happening? Students here are there's a lot of disruption. The world is changing. Okay, there is so much of competition. I'll give you an exercise to do. I don't know if you have an answer right now. Anyone knows how many MBA colleges are there in Pune today? Just Pune. Let's not even talk about Maharashtra or India or nothing. I don't know if you want to just put it in your chat section, please feel free to do that. Okay, so just a thought. Just think about the number of colleges which are there, MBA colleges in Pune today, and the number of students which are there in those students today. So everyone are in a very, very tough competing phase. Okay. It is no longer are the days wherein you are just working on your resume or you're just working on getting great grades in your academics, but things have moved way beyond that. With the introduction of newer cultures, newer technologies, things are completely changing. So it becomes very important for you to stay ahead in the game. Yeah. Uh, I don't know how many of you all got an opportunity to read this World Economic Forum report, which said, I'll just give you a brief. If you want, I'll share the report also. It's a 2020 report, which said that they have forecasted that by 2025, 85 million jobs across the world will be redundant. Okay, why redundant? Because those things will be taken over by machines, or it will be completely automated. Technology will take over, but that's not something which you need to fear about, because they also forecast there are another 97 million jobs which are going to be completely new, which will evolve. Okay. Now, what students need to think is not get worried about the 85 million jobs which are going, but you need to be more equipped. How can I be part of the 97 million jobs which are going to be new? And what are these newer jobs? Okay. There are so many things happening with artificial intelligence coming, machine learning coming. But if you decide that I am an old school person, I will only learn things which are being taught to me, or what are the things coming in front of me. Things may not be very rosy for you towards probably 2 or 3 years down the line. So you should always keep yourself updated. And this is where LinkedIn helps you to identify which are the skills and identify who are the people doing it. And you start, having conversations with them to understand what should be the right way forward. Okay. Disruption. I don't need to tell you about disruption. Each time a disruption of pandemic came, there was a complete disruption in the way you study, in the way I met my customers. I probably, probably the way I went and met my colleagues and everything. Suddenly there was an innovation, or not an innovation, a concept of online meetings. So which are the technologies which boomed during that time? Zoom, Teams, the one which we are using today. There are so many mobile phones, students, a complete disruption because you were told to stay away from mobile phones, try and, do your work with your books as much as possible. Suddenly things change. They're like, no, spend as much time on your mobile phone to do your studies, or spend as much time on your laptop. So whenever disruption comes, it actually revolutionizes the complete concept. Whatever you were doing in the past is gone. It's redundant and things have taken over. So how do you get to know what are the upcoming technologies? How do you stay in touch? Okay. Now, these are in a nutshell, what LinkedIn enables students to do. Stay up to date what's happening in the market. If you're not on LinkedIn, basically you're not getting connected to professionals. If you're not in connection with professionals, you are still in time. You're not ahead of time. Yeah. So the concept is stay ahead of time, and this is what we're going to discuss. What is LinkedIn doing? This is something which always comes up. The mission of LinkedIn is very simple: connecting the world's professional to make them more productive and successful. And this is exactly what I mentioned in my previous slide. You have to stay ahead in the game, and to stay ahead, you need to have information, data, and that's the data which LinkedIn provides. Because today, so we have more than around 760 million people. Okay. And what do students do with these people? They stay connected with them. Okay. You stay connected, and that's when you get information. Okay. Stay informed about what's happening in that industry. what are the latest trends, what are the newer innovations, what are the news, which company is acquiring which company, which senior person has moved from which company to which company, what's happening in the financial segment, what's happening in the manufacturing segment. This is real time information. This is the most important thing. A lot of people ask me, so there are a lot of online magazines, there are a lot of other tools, but always be aware that LinkedIn is always real time. What do you mean by real time is you're getting information from professionals, click of a button. Yeah, so there is no delay in it. So the moment person changes the job, he changes his designation or whatever. If you're connected to that person, you'll get to know person X has moved from here to here. And the most important thing for a student is get hired. Yeah, because LinkedIn is that place which gives you so many opportunities. And one thing you need to be aware of is LinkedIn is not meant for just students or professionals of one class or one level or senior in their seniority. Absolutely no. There are people who are freelancers. There are people who are professionals, lawyers, chartered accountants, working professionals, students, housewives, everyone are on LinkedIn today. The idea is everyone's agenda is different to be on LinkedIn. Yeah. So you need to make your agenda very clear. And that's what we're going to learn today. How is it that you'll do that? Yeah. What is the real power of LinkedIn? Okay. 760 million. Anyone knows what is the size of LinkedIn India? How many members in LinkedIn India? Any wild guess? Anyone? Okay, I'm not able to see the chat. Okay, I think probably if you don't unmute, I think probably then there will be a lot of chaos. Okay, I'll give you the answer here. So it is roughly very close to around 8 crore people. Okay, we have not touched 8 crore, very close to reaching 8 crore people in India. And India is one of the fastest growing regions for LinkedIn with the second maximum number of people on LinkedIn after United States. Yeah, the reason it is booming is because of the kind of people we have in the age range of 18 to almost 35, 40. Because that's the age which typically people are more attached. They want to have their professional connect and stuff. And this is the game which we're talking about for students. You have to stay connected. Yeah. Lot of companies, there are 30 million companies across the globe, okay, which are on LinkedIn. And the idea is very simple. Everyone are trying to showcase what they have today. And there are 90,000 schools. Okay, when I say school, it's a mix of any educational institution, okay, offering any kind of education. Obviously, you can segregate them at a later stage, but that's the kind of diversity which LinkedIn has. So it is never meant for one set of people. Okay, it is meant for anyone who is a professional in any shape or form. Yeah. So let's talk about your LinkedIn profile. Now, your LinkedIn profile is your identity. Okay, when I say identity, it is no longer a piece of paper or resume which is just written, which you've just written and you're just putting in your academic things there. You're putting certain words which makes no sense. So here, whatever you put makes a lot of sense. Why? Because you can bring everything to life. What I mean by everything to life is you can put up, for example, you can show your balanced self here. You don't need to show your professional person. You can also show how a kind of empathetic person you are. What are the things you do other than your studies or other than your work? So for example, you go and attach yourself to an NGO. You've been working there. Put it up here. You're doing any extracurricular activities. Assume you're doing coaching for some kind of, for small children. You need to put it up here. So there are several things which you can do on LinkedIn, but let's go step by step. Okay. Adding a profile picture is the most basic thing. I mean, I really shouldn't be saying this, but I am always forced to say this because many people don't do that. Okay. The reason you should do is you get more profile views if you have a profile picture, because today the world is moving in the social domain. Okay. And when you talk about social domain, you only relate to a person when you see the photograph. Otherwise, you're just talking to the screen, or otherwise you're just talking to a person who has just created something. There is no personal connect there. Yeah. And personally also, if you ask me, if I get a connection request today, which does not have a photograph, I do not accept it. Okay, and this is a common trend amongst large amount of LinkedIn members. If they don't have profile picture, they don't tend to connect. So if you don't have one, please have one. And there are the kind of what kind of profile picture you need to have, it's there. Please do not have cartoon images, caricatures, pencil graphs, pencil graphics, which you get it done. Absolutely not. So when I said initially also, there are certain things it is good for you, but maybe not good for others. Uh, I was recently talking to one of the design institutes. Okay. Now, design institutes, they need to show their creativity. Okay. So for them, I will say that, okay, fine, go ahead and do whatever you want, in terms of how creative can you get in terms of your photograph, in terms of your background cover picture, whatever. Okay. But when it comes to a management professional, typically try to keep it as professional as possible. Okay. I will never say that you're not supposed to do it. Okay. But my experience, what I hear from other recruiters are, there is the profile picture itself starts talking to you. You get a kind of sense of a person. Okay, fine. He's this kind of a person. She's this kind of person before you even get in touch with that person. Okay. So always have this, because you get a lot of profile views, which is the most important thing in today's LinkedIn culture today. Yeah. Second is education qualification. I'm sure you guys are putting, but one important thing is do not miss out to put any other additional courses, what you've done, any certification courses, any other small time or large courses which you have done. Please put it up here, and you have to put not just your college, you have to put your school, you have to put your high school, whichever, wherever you have done and completed any kind of courses, please put it up there, because that's the way people search for you. So for example, if you don't put your school, and if you want to be searched amongst the school alumni, okay, you will never be shown there. Even if you want to get connected to your school friends or your school batchmates, you will not be able to. So make sure you're putting it up there. Okay, and include activities. So whenever I say put up the college there, always tag the right institute. Do not write it as plain text. Okay, when I say plain text, for example, if you see here Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the moment you write MASSAC, there should be a drop down which comes, and you have to select only from the drop down. You do not select from the drop down, it will just take as plain text. It will not really tag you to that college. Yeah. So a lot of students do that mistake, and since you do that, when you do that mistake, you're never popping up in the alumni section of that college. Okay. And this is meant for everyone today, not just students. Even if there are professors, whoever are here, make sure everything what you put up on LinkedIn, always pick up from the drop down. Okay, just put the first three alphabets and search in the drop down. In your case, put up your college name. Okay, and then search for the right one, and then click on it. Okay, so this is a simple thing, but I'm sure students would know this. But in case you don't, I'm just trying to reiterate, because this typically, when you miss out, it's a big you tend to lose out a lot. Yeah. Awards, honors, any kind of certifications which you've got, or any kind of accreditations which you've got, you need to put it up here. If you've been a school, if you've been a school captain, or you've been a college placement coordinator, whatever, put it up here, because those are the things which speaks volumes about you as a person, you as a professional. Yeah. Add your work experience, guys. If you have, I understand few people may have, few may not, but if you have it, again, tag the right company. Don't just write it as text, because whenever people search, there are recruiters outside who are searching for people who have worked in X company, okay, or who've been in this region before. And if you have not tagged it rightly, it will not bring you in front of those people there. Yeah. And always write a summary. Okay, it is very important, because in LinkedIn, if you don't write a summary, nobody gets to know what exactly you're doing. If you just write Director of External Affairs, nobody really knows what exactly you're doing. We'll have to make a lot of guesses just to understand that, okay, a director of external affairs is this, maybe you're doing this. Maybe you're an executive in this place. Maybe you're a customer success manager. Not many people know what is a customer success manager. So explain to them what exactly is it, because the reason you're building this profile is for others to look at your profile and understand if there are any other jobs which are popping up in the market, and if you fit in, they should be able to reach you. If you just write your title and leave it, people will not be able to reach you. Yeah. And as you see on the screen, list everything what you have done. Any summer jobs, internship jobs, everything should pop up here. Okay. Because that, all these things you may be thinking that, is it really relevant? I would say it's really relevant. Why? Because it actually shows, nowadays what is happening is a lot of, when people do recruitment, okay, of students or working professionals, they are checking a lot of entrepreneurial skills in them. Now, what are these entrepreneurial skills? These are all soft skills, like team working ability, like strategic thinking, like empathy, and how much of a risk-taking person you are, and all that. It's very difficult to judge a person by just looking at a resume, right? On LinkedIn, you can actually put it up, and that's the reason in the past I told you, put up any kind of external curricular activities which you're doing. For example, you're supporting some NGO. If you're coaching a group of students to, say, play football, or say a badminton, or if you know something, instrument to play, for example, a flute or a tabla or a harmonium, put it up here, because that speaks volumes about you as a person. What kind of a leader you are, that leadership skills. See, that is a soft skill which everyone is looking for. If I see that you're coaching a group of students, that actually speaks volumes about what kind of a person you are. Yeah. I had volunteering experience. I think I've already covered this. Absolutely important. I have met so many recruiters, so many talent acquisition heads who actually look for something like this. Okay. Because it really shows the softer side of that person. It really shows that how much invested you are in the activities which you're doing. It shows the empathetic element of you as a person. And today, when large MNCs hire, these are the things which they are looking for. Will this person fit into the culture of our company? Will this person be empathetic towards our diversity employees who are there? Because today diversity is one of the key words in every organization. They are taking people with disabilities, people with color, different people. So all these things speaks volumes about your cultural fitment into any organization. Yeah. Uh, exactly. So this is all the courses, guys. Everything, whatever smallest. If you do a 2-day course, just put it up here. Okay. All the accomplishments should come in here. And uh, just don't. Whenever you're writing this, tag the right organization. And if you feel that organization which you have associated with does not have one, probably that's a food for thought. Approach that organization and say that, do you want to create a small profile about this small institute or this small NGO on LinkedIn? It's just a 2-minute thing. Either you can do it for yourself, sorry, you can do it yourself for them, or you can ask them, hey, can you just do this? Probably this can be your one initiative for that NGO, that I'll create your LinkedIn profile for you and I'll try to do the best what I can. Yeah. So these are the elements which will cover, or these are the elements which will showcase that softer side of you as a professional. Skills, absolutely important. Now, let me tell you one thing. All the Fortune 500 companies, okay, all the large organizations, all the large organizations in India today, they use LinkedIn tool to do recruitment. Okay. uh, what they do in the tools of recruitment are they put in skills. Okay, they put in, okay, I'm looking for a person with, say, a finance background, or somebody who's done a MBA in finance, and I need a person with these skills. If you don't write these skills on LinkedIn, you will be left out. You will not be popping up in front of those people who are actually running the searches today. Because one of the community who is the most active on LinkedIn today are recruiters. Okay. And the obvious reason are because they're always looking for people. Okay, and LinkedIn is a real-time thing which they can find out who are the people working. So, so what happens is, for it has happened to me several times. The moment I put up some award that I won, okay, I won this some XYZ award in LinkedIn. I'm not kidding. I have a lot of recruiters from other larger organizations who reach out and say that, do you want to come for an interview? There's an opening here. So that's the power of LinkedIn. Because the moment I do that, they understand. They do their own mathematical calculation that if he's been successful in this role in LinkedIn, he's put up an award. That means he's genuine. A lot of people are appreciating him. That means he's done a great job. I think he will be a great fit for my organization. So are you able to relate to what I'm saying? So everything becomes visible on LinkedIn. Okay. And that the ulterior motive of this is, how can I end up getting a good job? How can I end up probably connecting to the right people, and several other things on LinkedIn? Yeah. So moving ahead. Okay. Now let me tell you one more thing. LinkedIn and Google are SEO optimized. Okay, what I mean by that is, uh, whenever, for example, I'll give you my example. Okay, the moment I write Anup Menon LinkedIn, the first thing which pops up in Google search is my LinkedIn profile. So that's something I would recommend you all to do. Okay, just put in your name and put in LinkedIn and see if your profile comes up the first. If it doesn't, it's time for you to completely rework on your LinkedIn profile. And your summary is something which helps you to do that. Okay, your summary is just a small story about you. So how I put it to students are, or I put it to any professional are, it should be in three segments. One is your past, what you've done, what you did, and everything. Then is your present, what are you currently doing? And then two lines is about the future. What is it that you want to do? Yeah, this should sum it up. And as you see, as keep it as short and as possible. Okay, but do not keep as short as like one or two lines. Keep it. Make sure these three segments are covered. Okay, but do not write a complete essay, because honestly, people will not read it if it's a long one. If it's a short one, people will still read it. Yeah. So that is your kind of elevator pitch. If somebody asks you, okay, so what's happening in your life? So this is what it is. I was doing this. I completed my graduation. Currently, I'm doing my MBA here, and this is my future. I'm really interested in working in one of the banking or a financial segment organization in, say, probably India or outside India or whatever. Yeah. So it gives me a summary of you as a professional, and this is the place where you write all your keywords. What do you mean by keywords? Are, for example, if you're the person who is doing an MBA in marketing, for example, understand what are the key things important to you. So, for example, in today's marketing world, things like data analysis, things like social media marketing, things like Canva, these are the things which people are looking for. Okay, make sure you're putting those things up here, so that people who are searching for somebody like you will get your profile, and you're giving an opportunity to reach out. Yeah, so summary is absolutely vital. Okay, and as I said, three segments: past, present, and future. Okay, that should be able to, you should be able to summarize in that. Okay, do not write an essay about myself. Nobody is interested to read that. Yeah. Perfect, guys. So now what we did was creating your profile. Okay, the second segment is the third segment, rather, what you see here is the networking and community. So we'll talk briefly on that. So just give me a second. I'm just trying to search for my chat option, which I cannot. Okay, doesn't matter. I will probably proceed. Just a quick ask. Okay, I'm not able to see the chat. So if there is anything popping up in the chat, please keep it populated properly. We will take it up towards the end. Yeah. Okay, now let's get into the network and community part of it. As I said initially, okay, if you don't tag yourself rightly, okay, you will not be able to be part of this alumni network. Okay, what is the alumni network? When you're creating a profile, you go and tag yourself to the right institute. Okay, once you do that, okay, you yourself, first of all, is part of that institute, okay, as an alumni. Second is, you should start exploring who are the people who have passed out from my college and where are they working currently. Okay, so this tool, okay, if you go to your company page of your institute, you will see a small tab called as Alumni. Okay, go there and search for people who have passed out from your institute and try getting connected with them. Okay, because they are the ones who are going to be your guiding light. Okay, they are the ones who can probably you can reach out, because there is a kind of a sense of warmth when you reach out to your alumni and ask them for support, or say that, hey, I'm just passing out right now, I'm looking for an internship, would you be able to help me? I know that you passed out from my institute, or we've been on the same institute. So use those elements, and these are the elements which are a warm element. These are not cold elements. You're not reaching to a stranger. You're just reaching out with some common connect. Okay, so the first food for thought is make yourself attached to the right college. Okay, second is start reaching out to the network. Okay, and look for people who are doing the similar kind of jobs. Okay, and then also look for people who have kept on, once you get attached to them, you'll see postings from them, right? And start engaging with them on their post. Okay, so what do you mean by engaging? Whenever there is a post which comes, okay, there are usually three things which people do, and that is what we call it as engagement. One, you like. Second, you comment. Third is you share. There's a fourth one which has come, which is called as sending. If you see a post, you can directly send it to a person. So any of these things you do, that's what we call it as engagement. Yeah. So you have to start engaging with that person. Okay. So that that person knows you, and you are not trying to be a one message wonder. Okay. Like you try to put up something and you expect the whole world to respond. It doesn't happen. Yeah. So yeah, again, I was just kind of covering this. I kind of forgot to switch the slides, but a kind of piece of advice for you in terms of networking is, do not be that one message wonder person. Once in 6 months you come, you put up something and you vanish. No. In such a scenario, what happens is you cannot expect people to help you when you need it. Okay. It has to be a continuous approach. Keep sharing what is it that you want, keep asking help, keep commenting on things. So that's how you break out of your silo, and you're becoming visible to the larger network of people. Yeah. Nurture your current network means always give them, or probably engage them, giving them more data or insights. Okay. You have to deepen your ties with them in terms of your networking abilities. Okay. And one tip here I would say is, always use news as one of your elements. Now, one of the things which I do personally is, whenever I see any kind of newspaper article, okay, obviously not the hard copy, but I mean, obviously you can look at the hard copy, but then eventually you go to the e-version of that on internet and post that link here. So, for example, there have been so many news about the education policy 2020. Okay, there are so many news out there. You can actually put it up. Okay, you can actually put up things which are happening in your college. Some cultural fest, or any milestone you'll have reached, or any guest lectures which happened. Always keep engaging your network. Okay, and be visible in front of them, because as I said, it's like, you suddenly go for a party today, and you're going into a party of a known bunch of people, but nobody is talking to you. Like, if you say a hi, they will say a hi. That's all. That's not what you want. But if you have a great relation with them in some shape or form, everyone will come and talk to you. And this is what you have to do. Try and engage as much as possible. Comment on people's post. Try posting things yourself, and you don't need to create any content. Okay, content is already there on internet in loads and piles of them, but decide what is going to be important for you and what is going to be important for your network. Okay, so whenever you post anything, okay, always keep few things in mind. One, is it going to be educational for my connections? Okay, is it going to be informative for my people? Is it going to be path breaking? I mean, just think yourself that what is that content which I would love to engage with. Okay, like any kind of graphical representation of showing how the industry is moving or how student population is changing there or disruptions happening in that students ecosystem and stuff. So always think on those lines before posting anything. Yeah, build a board of advisors. Now this is more of an American concept. Okay, but a lot of people in India have started doing that, and this is exactly so. The advocate are typically people whom you know, somebody from your college or somebody from your a very close friend who's at a professional level. Always have that person, follow that person, and always listen to that person on LinkedIn. Okay, what is he or she doing? Okay. From a strategic level, it could be a mentor, it could be somebody who's at a senior level within your institute, who's ready to get you introduced somewhere. Okay, and also try to get a subject matter expert, and subject matter expert is your alumni, because others may or may not give you that helping hand, but your alumni can. So for example, if you feel that I need a job in say a large banking company, MNC company, and I need to understand what are the things they need for me to be ready for that job for in a year's time. Yeah, so only a person working in that company will be able to tell you that. Okay, no one else. So always have these three segment of people ready. And as I said, I keep repeating this: do not be that one message wonder. Okay. Now, also let me tell you one very very technical thing which we have noticed or we have studied and found out. It takes 7 interactions for a person to be on top of your mind. Yeah, so what happens is, if, as I said, do not be a one message wonder. One message is just one message. You have to try and interact with that person at least minimum of 7 times. Okay, so that that person knows you by name the next time. Okay, so that's one of the reason why you always see these repeated advertisements everywhere on social media. Yeah, they keep showing you the same ad. You're like, I just saw this, how many times it's going to repeat, because they're kind of creating the top of the mind recall for you. Next time somebody calls and says that, hey, my name is X and I'm calling from this company, they already know your company. Yeah, so same thing you have to do. If you feel that an alumni is not responding, okay, or X person is not responding, try to build that connection. Whenever there is a content there, try and go and engage with that person. He or she may not respond, but he or she is looking that this person has come and commented, this person has shared, this person has liked my content. Okay, send that one connection request, send an email to that person. Okay, and this is how you will start building. Lot many times people come and say that, yeah, Anup, nobody responds. Yeah, so what happens? So nobody is responding because they don't know you, they don't know what you're capable of. So do not be that one message wonder. It will not work for you. Yeah. Follow companies. This is very basic for any student. You've been following a lot of companies on, I'm sure, Facebook and Insta and all that. Same concept goes here. Follow the companies you're interested in, because whenever they post any news, any articles, any corporate changes, you get an update. Students, what you should be doing is target at least 10 companies, which you feel you want to join. Okay, after your MBA. Okay, start following those companies, because these are stories you're building up. Okay, when that interviewer or whoever asks you that question, like, what do you know about this company, your first answer is, ma'am, sir, I've been following your company on LinkedIn since last 1 year, and I've seen so many things. I really love your culture about the company. You see, you're completely changing the dimension of your answer, and that passionate behavior is coming into play. You're not saying that, sir, you're a big company, I've known that, it's a huge name, all your, that becomes a very fast talk. Okay, but when you're actually going right into depth of it, that's when people really love, and they understand that you are a very passionate person, and you should be hired into an organization. So start early. And again, the tip is, look at those top 10 companies, follow them, and keep engaging with their content and post, because what you're doing is you're creating stories, okay, which you can probably use whenever somebody asks in your interview panel, or anyone, in your normal engagement. You're not going there as a person who knows nothing about this company. So try and do this as much as possible. I don't need to tell you, how you should follow. It is the most simplest thing. And always, first thing is follow your own college institute page. Okay, start sharing, commenting as much as possible from your own page itself, or of your own page. And because I'm sure your team is posting a lot of content, utilize that. People ask me, where do I start? I say, start from there. Start by following your own college, reshare, like, comment on the post. That's how you will make it more and more viral. Yeah. Explore jobs and set your preferences, guys. So in LinkedIn, one thing you can do is you can set alerts. What do you mean by alert is you say that whenever there is, okay, so basically you feel that I'm a fresher. Whenever I pass out of my college, I should get a manager role in say a FMCG company. You can actually set up an alert on LinkedIn, okay, which is called as a job alert. So what happens is if your preferred job pops up, LinkedIn will immediately send you an email and an alert on LinkedIn that, hey, there is a job which perfectly matches to what you were looking for. Do you want to be the first person to apply for this role? That is one. Second is at least you get to know there is a job opportunity in this company, and I should at least reach out to the HR team or somebody whom I know and ask them to refer me for this job. Yeah. So it works in multi-dimensional ways, guys. So you need to be connected. You need to set these alerts in case you're looking for jobs. Yeah. Influencers, so I follow a lot of influencers. It is CEOs of companies, authors, and multiple people, somebody very senior in my own company, and my old professors. It could be a varied range of people. And the concept is very simple again. These are the people who put in latest trends, upcoming insights, data, and all that onto LinkedIn. Okay, and that's where you should be updated, because when they post, you get it. Okay, and when you get it, you use it in your conversations, you use it in your future interviews, you use it in your usual presentations wherever need be. Like for example, I used one of the important lines here, which is, which I recently read, which is about the World Economic Forum report, which was a kind of a very interesting thing for me, and I always use it in whenever I'm talking to students. So it becomes impactful. So when you start connecting with these people, they make impactful statements, okay, which you can read and start reusing them in other places, which will talk volumes about you as a person, and it shows that how well read you are. Okay. Joining groups and networks is, as simple as, please go ahead and do that, so because that's the place where you get a lot of content. You get to know your alumni if you're going and joining alumni network. The alumni, wherever you go, they post a lot of content which becomes a food for thought for you. Okay. And what do you do on groups? Very simple. You tend to listen and learn a lot. Okay, because you as students, you may not be able to contribute much when there is a technical discussion happening, but you get to understand and collect those insights, which can be important for you to be utilized in multiple sections. Okay, I'm not going to read out every point here. Probably I'll just take a pause and I'll allow you to read this. Okay, so I'll just move ahead. Okay, so the last segment here is launching your skills or launching your career and learning new skills. Uh, I don't know how many people follow this, and if you're not, I would recommend you to. So LinkedIn launches or publishes a lot of report. Okay, in terms of what you see on the screen here, the most in-demand soft skills of 2020. 2021 report is not yet published, so I'm showing you the 2020. Okay, always be way ahead of understanding what's happening in the industry, what's happening in the market. Okay, now how do we get the most in demand? Now these are those skills which people are learning, okay, on LinkedIn, Okay, yes, LinkedIn has a learning tool also, okay, which I'll come to in a while. What are those most important skills which people are learning, or at least putting it up on their profile? And LinkedIn suddenly gets to know these are the, suddenly this has bloated up. For example, creativity. Everyone is doing that creativity because that is one of the things which every organization asks. When you go for an interview, okay, give me. This is what I ask. Whenever I take interviews, okay, give me an example of something which you have done very creatively in your last organization or as a student. So that is something which people are trying to gain more and more creative insights, creativity. They're trying to deep dive into that segment. So creativity and all these things are something which you cannot really learn, but you can display whatever is your creativity, your sense of creativity on LinkedIn. And this is what people are doing, and that's the reason it's showing creativity as one of it. So everything, so whatever are the top skills, LinkedIn tries to demonstrate it here. And it's time for you to reevaluate, if in 2020 these were the kind of soft skills which were the most important or the most in demand. Do I have these? Point number one. It's very easy to just write, okay, when I'm persuasive, when I'm collaboratively working with everyone, I'm adaptable. But can you display that with an example? That's where I mentioned, well-made profile will actually define those. There's one thing which I'll also say is in terms of getting recommendations, which is very important when you probably switch out of your college. Okay, but start taking recommendations also right now, because it will actually come into your skill segment. Because when a person writes about you and your work done as a student, like if X person was working in the placement committee and your professor writes a recommendation for you, that will actually elevate your profile to a different level. Yeah, that will show the kind of the adaptability you have, the kind of collaboration culture. Yeah, so these are the things. Yeah, so these are the most in demand soft skills. These are the most in demand hard skills, the typical technical skills which people have. And most of the people today are trying to learn these technical skills because every organization, okay, irrespective, you're into banking, you say, hey, I'm into marketing, I don't need to learn. No, absolutely wrong. Everyone needs to know the basics of all these top skills. Why? Because even if you're joining, every function today in a corporate has a hint of artificial intelligence, machine learning. They're trying to automate things. They're trying to accept newer technologies. So these things, when you start performing, you start incorporating, your profile is actually it becomes a thing where everyone would love to interact with you. You're saying that, okay, I'm an MBA in marketing or HR. I've done a short course in cloud computing. Suddenly people from SAP and all will be like super thrilled. Okay, we have a bunch of people who are, at MBA HR, but I see they have done a lot of courses in cloud computing and artificial intelligence. So suddenly an avenue opens up for you, not like shooting in the dark. Where should I apply? Which company? What? I don't know. Or, what should be my target companies? So it gives a path to you, once you understand these, do the reverse thing. For example, if you say that, hey, I want to get into a technology company, okay, in the future, I don't know which other campus is going to come, but this is my aim. Okay. So start understanding which is that company, what are the skills they work on. Try to understand basics of that skill. So for example, if you say that I want to go and join, say Google, for example, okay, understand which are the skills which Google works on, like data analysis, like algorithms, so several other things. Start learning snippets of that, so that when you can display that thing in your interviews, or you can display that thing in your conversations with people. Yes, I know I'm a sales guy, but I already know what kind of technology you're working on. I know what kind of algorithms are being treated here. So several other things comes into play. Yeah. So now this is the tool which I was talking about, guys. Everyone. So you can actually take a 30-day free trial on LinkedIn. Now this, if you've already taken, this may not be there. Okay. So this is usually open to everyone, and this is the place where people learn their skills. Okay. This is a tool which we have, which is a library of 16,000 courses. Okay. And which is divided into 3 segments. Okay. When I say 16,000, almost 11,000 are in English. Okay. and rest all are in foreign languages. So it is divided into three segments: business, creativity, and technology. Okay, and these are short courses which today most of the MBA colleges students are doing. Like if you want to go for interview, run a course on interview. How do I do well in my interview? If you want to gain soft skills like what we saw, immediately come here. You can do short courses and get those certified, get yourself certified there. Okay, very interesting tool for students, and we have seen a complete surge in the way people are accepting this. Because this works on your mobile phone. Even if you're going for a run or a jog, if you have like 30 minutes free time in your entire day, you can just run a course. It's as simple as that. So, nutshell, how do students use LinkedIn? Academic purposes. Find out what are the most upcoming skills in the market. Start attaining those skills. Start understanding what is it that I need for me to be successful. Career services, which are the jobs which are being highlighted. If you have this thing in mind that, okay, fine, I feel I should join as an analyst, okay, in some organization. Try and backtrack what are the typical soft skills, what are the typical hard skills required. Your any which is your academics is taken care by your college. What are the other gaps which I need to fill so that I can get into a good college. So career services people, students use. Alumni relations, I don't need to talk about this. Yeah, hardcore or most important on LinkedIn. Start connecting with them, understand from them what is it that I need to join your company. Do you think this is the right stage, or you feel I should probably wait for a year, join another company, and then come to you? Build those relationships so that you can have these conversations. And thought leadership is nothing but the kind of content which you post on LinkedIn. It will tag you as a person, or they will tag you as a thought leader. What is a thought leader? If you're a student and you are from the finance domain and you keep posting a lot of content about finance industry, politics, political finance, and different things, you suddenly become a thought leader in that segment. Okay, suddenly people who are connected to you, look up to you as a person. Like, you have so much information about finance domain or XYZ companies and stuff. So try and be that. Try and be a thought leader in any segment. Try and not be generic as much as possible, but be a thought leader. Okay, and pick up a topic and try to be a master of that. Start posting content, reach out to the relevant people in that segment, and start having conversations. Yeah, so this is my last slide, guys, and this is the 4 elements I really want you to focus on. So now what I'll do is I'll pause and I will stop presenting, and I will probably take questions right now. I don't know if it was too much for you guys, or did y'all enjoy it? Did it make sense?
Yes, hello, Anup sir. That was a
Yes,
fantastic session, and I'm quite sure that students are going to be having a lot of questions. So I
please.
will catch up again after the questions are over, but I think I'll just let the questions flow. So, Divya, over to you for coordinating the question answer session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I now request the students to raise their hand and ask their questions.
Yep.
Yeah, students, please feel free to ask questions, because we have a wonderful resource here who is ready to answer all your queries, and you are just at the beginning of your PGDM course, so you have a lot to work on your LinkedIn profiles. So please go ahead and ask.
Yeah, there is something from Anuja. Samriddhi. Did I see 2 names? Yeah, go for it. I think unmute and ask if chat is not
Anuja,
a
please
viable
unmute
option.
yourself and ask your question.
Hello, sir. Sir, my question is like on LinkedIn or like any other platform, there are like scam pages or scam companies. So, how to identify the genuine company and how to get aware about the scams?
Okay, scam. Okay, first question is about scam. Very good. uh, See, my recommendation to you is so, like in Twitter and other platforms, we don't have that green tick mark to identify that this is a scam page. So, typically, what I do is I go and see which page are the senior professionals tagged to. So for example, if we take one college or maybe one organization for that matter, let's take, say, Facebook. Okay, Facebook is too big. Okay, so let's take maybe Cummins India. Okay, it's based in Pune. Cummins. So for example, what I do is I go and identify or search that the top management of Cummins, which is the page they are tagged to. Okay, that becomes the authentic page, because in LinkedIn what happens is there are pages which can be created at different stages and different people, but the most important for you to check is go and look at where are the top people tagged to, because the ones which they are tagged to is the authentic page. You will have the right details there. All the pages are kind of duplicate pages, or they can be a scam page, as you call it. But yeah, I think that's my recommendation. Even in terms of profiles, when you get a connection request, okay, uh, always see if how many connections do that person have, because it shows you, have 5 connections, 10 connections and stuff like that. That is one. And less number of connections, probably ask 2-3 times, who's this person, do I know him and stuff, because a lot of people who randomly create a profile and start sending connection requests to people without any aim or without any objective. But the future objective could be, once I have bulk, probably I'll use it as an advertisement tool. So that is one. Secondly, what I do is I look for photograph of people. you know if I don't see a photograph, I typically don't connect with them. I see accreditations of people. I see what is written on their profile, okay, before accepting a person's request. If I see that, if it's a senior person but they have not written anything on their profile, it just shows that I'm working with X company. No duration, no tagging, nothing. I would recommend to you, don't accept such profile connections. Because if a person cannot tell what your experience is, what your education is, where you're working currently, okay, and just sending connection requests to people, you should not accept it. So that's my answer to you. Always look for those people on. If you're looking at pages, look for where are the senior people tagged. Second is, from a profile, always look at these basic elements. Okay, if a person is writing India as a location, do not accept. Why? What is India? You have states, you have cities, you can mention those. Why does a person mention India? So typically, these are the red flags which I have personally, you know, before I accept a person's request.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anyone else? I think there were a few more people. Yes, Samruddhi.
Yes, sir. So actually, like we can see, right, there's a trend on LinkedIn right now where everyone is sharing, like there are, articles that come up every day. So as a student, how much of an impact does it make to start a series of, for example, teachings that you get every day, or people have like 100 days of coding, for example, for the technical people, 100 days of
Mm-hmm.
Java, they follow that hashtag. So as a
Mm-hmm.
management student, how much of an impact will it make on my profile if I start a series like that, maybe based on the learnings that I get? So if I'm taking marketing, so what marketing things that I observe in my daily life?
Absolutely, absolutely. Was that question from Samruddhi or?
Yes.
Okay, Samruddhi, perfect, bang on. I think you should do that. So have a hashtag for yourself, okay, and start running a series of it. And I would be a wrong person to recommend what series, but I think you are the best person to judge. Use your faculty's help, use your other professors' help who are into marketing, who will help you. But this will be super impactful, okay, and this also becomes a case study for you when you actually get into a interview. I mean, when you're getting into an interview, you can actually use these as examples. See, this is what I did. Okay, I ran a series, and these are all real time and live. What do you mean by that is, just give that hashtag to that person and say that, hey, this is my hashtag, go and check it yourself. But for that, it's important for you to start early. Correct? You can't start probably once you're about to pass out. You start something, it becomes very evident that you're doing it for the sake of it. But if you start early, it is very impactful. Have that series done, and I think you can probably don't clutter it too much. My recommendation, what I mean by clutter is, have a very disciplined, calendarized approach, whenever you're doing it. So for example, my recommendation to you is probably, I mean, just a thought, okay, For example, on a Monday, you can keep like a did you know day. Okay, anything did you know, very short and sweet. Third day, maybe a Wednesday, you can put something like about the college day. Okay, I'm not talking about your content about learning. I'm just giving you a theme. Okay, third day could be or on a Friday, it could be something about a guest lecture, something which you learned, new. So it has to be calendarized and use hashtags so that you can actually measure it yourself. What is the impact of this? That's a very good idea, Samruddhi. I think you should go ahead with that.
Thank you, sir.
I saw a few more people raised hands. Did they unraise it or?
Students, please feel free to ask your questions.
And even regarding the LinkedIn learning, as I mentioned, feel free to actually go and start doing your courses there, because once you do a course, okay, on LinkedIn learning, you can actually come up and put the certificate on your LinkedIn profile. So the moment you finish your course, there will be a certificate which pops up, and the LinkedIn learning will ask you, do you want to show this on your LinkedIn profile? And your answer is yes. Yeah, Sanya, you have a question.
Yes, sir. When a good company posts about any internship or job, it gets a lot of comments. So, how to be noticeable in that situation?
See, I mean, typically, what you need to do is, as I said, it's if you have to be noticed, it has to be a series of event which you do. Okay, so try and backtrack a lot of things. See, random management trainee requirements, people, people will go and post something like whoever is interested in getting a job, click on yes, or type no in their comment, or type yes. I will always say don't fall for all those things, okay? Because these are just market gimmicks, because they understand the culture that, okay, fine, if I ask for job, a lot of people will comment and suddenly I'll become a very famous guy on LinkedIn, So don't fall for all that. Typically what you do is, don't even think of how do I get noticed in front of that person. If that person has posted something, one management trainee, there are like million management trainee people. There's so many students passing out. Typically, what you can do is try and reach out to them individually. Okay, rather than just going and commenting there and stuff like that, probably reach out to some other person in that organization, that individual directly, search for his profile, send him a connection request, and write to him that, hey, I saw your post. Can we have a quick conversation? Or start following that person, or start getting updated about which are the new management trainee positions which are coming in the market. Like I told you, if you go into your job section, okay, you can set an alert whenever there is a management trainee job coming up region or Mumbai region or where. Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Your voice broke a little bit in between, but I think now it's.
I know.
Yeah.
Now you're back, right? So I don't know where you all lost me. So I was answering to Sanya that as much as possible, try and do these activities rather than following that segment of people who kind of just post, okay, I have a management training position. Whoever are interested, please put it up here. So I have never seen success coming out of such events and activities for students. Because it will maybe just 10 requirements and there'll be a million people looking at it. And so try and do different activities, try and stay connected to people whom you feel are genuinely going to give you a job. Reach out to recruiters of companies, start discussing with them, start reaching out to placement coordinators and understanding which are the job which are coming. And there are different activities you can do. That's my answer to you, Sanya.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, anyone else? Well, if you don't have questions, I'm kind of done, so let me know if you have any.
So students, are there any more questions? If you have, please raise your hands. Okay, just one quick query, Anup sir. So suppose if they were to write an article on LinkedIn, are there any standard do's or don'ts, or is there any quick guideline that they can follow? Because they have to start as early as possible. Not the frequency may not be too much, but sometimes they have to be able to express the important
Yep,
things in terms of an article. So
absolutely.
anything that you would
So
suggest?
sure. Thanks for that question. So in LinkedIn, typically you can do two things. One is you can write a short article, like on top of your LinkedIn page, you'll see, right? Put in your post or comment. So that is a shorter version of it. In LinkedIn, you can also write long articles like blogs and all that. So first of all, identify what is it that you want to do. Okay. And second is, so something which I already spoke about is whenever you're writing something, whenever you're posting something, point number one is kind of check, is it going to be a couple of things which I told you? Is it going to be educational to my audience? Is it going to be informative to my audience? Is it going to be something which will help them in their job? Okay, so look at these few things, okay, before you post. Just don't post it just for the sake of it. And whenever you post, okay, always tag the right people, use the right hashtags. Don't make it a very vanilla post wherein you're not doing anything about it. Okay, so these are a couple of things. And third thing is I'll recommend is content. I will never recommend that you should make self-created articles and stuff like that. Feel free to use content which is already published. But how will you use that is you will use that if you know which are those content, which are the places. For example, there are Harvard Business Reviews, there is newspapers, Times of India, Economic Times, and several others which come in the e-version of it. There are a lot of magazines which come out, corporate magazines. Typically use these content to curate your own post. Use one as a base content and write your thoughts on that. Okay, as I said, in newspaper, a lot of news are coming about the the National Education Policy 2020. Use those content and post it. But when you're posting it, always create a thing in your mind that, why am I posting? What am I going to gain out of it? Yeah, that is one. And second is, also I'll tell you, it is a little diversion, but probably just came into my mind, is always understand what are the kind of people whom you're getting attached to. Okay, what I mean by that is, now few people come and tell me that, I see a lot of irrelevant content on LinkedIn today. So LinkedIn has also become similar to Facebook today. So my answer to them is always, it is a function of what kind of people whom you're attached to. Okay, so if you are a student of HR, okay, or marketing or whatever, you have a lot of people who are done a graduation in, say, fashion technology. Here you have friends, okay, is into cooking, chef, somebody's into multiple things, creating portfolios. Somebody's into mentoring and life coach. Everyone has their own content. Everyone has their own way of advertising themselves. So every content is genuine content. Okay, it defines whom you are connected to. So if you feel that, why am I seeing so much content? I'm seeing so much of vegetables growing and all that. I don't need to be. So probably you're connected to the wrong people. So that was I'll recommend. So when you're posting anything, and coming back to what I was saying, when you're posting something, always understand what are my audience and whom am I catering to through this article, and keep it as diversified possible. Okay, and keep it, calendarize it. As I said, don't be that one message wonder person. Once in 6 months you'll come and post. I mean, you can do that, nobody's stopping you, but you will not get what you want, when you need something. For example, you put up a post, an article that I need recommendations on a management trainee position in, say, any city. nobody is going to respond to you because you've never been responsive to anything on online. Unless it's a very something which triggers to people, they will not. So always think through that. This is the pattern which I'll tell you to follow.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Yes,
Sure.
there's one more question, so we can take.
Please.
Please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Sir, I want to ask about the notes while sending requests to people. So how we can design that?
Design, see, one recommendation is you have to personalize a bit. You cannot have a templatized approach. Okay, so I mean, probably the note what you mention is the 1 or 2 lines. What you can mention is probably put in what is the reason why you're connecting, and this is very helpful when you're connecting to senior professionals, like connecting to a general manager, a VP, a CEO, CXO kind of people, because they typically do not accept connection requests of people whom they don't know. Okay. And or else there will be a segment of people whom they want to know. And that is exactly what you have to mention in the note section. For example, if you're connecting with anyone, in X company, you write that, I've been following your company and I really like the culture and I really like the content which you post. Okay. And can I be connected with you? Put in a note. Second, I'm a management student and, I foresee myself joining your company. Okay. In probably a year or two's time. And I really want to be connected with someone who posts a lot of content and I understand, what's happening internally, to understand the culture. So these are 2 or 3 lines you should use and always keep it personalized. Do not have a generic one, because if it is personalized, you would use that person's name when you're writing it. So if you're writing to me, hello, Mr. Anup, I saw that you're working with LinkedIn and I would want to engage with you because of the content you post. That's it. So, okay, I understand you just want to be in touch. There is no end objective. Or somebody who writes to me that, hey, I want to run a guest lecture with you. So I understand why you're writing. And that's kind of put it up there, why you want to connect. And if it's for like anybody from 0 to 5 year, 8 year, 10 year experience, they're still okay. I mean, it's not very important. But anybody senior than that becomes very important. And probably you can use that concept of personalization and keep it as short as possible. Do not write 4 or 5 lines in that. Keep it 1 or 2 lines maximum.
Okay.
Nutan, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Sir, what would be the exact guidelines for summary?
See, I told you, right? So for summary, as I said, use the 3 versions of it. Not 3 versions, 3 content segments. One is your past, 2 lines about your past. So you can write, for example, where did you do your schooling, or what is it that, how did you end up coming to this institute? Why is the reason you're doing this? Second is what exactly you're doing currently. Okay, 2 lines about it. You write that currently I'm pursuing my management course in so and so segment from this institute, and this is what I'm specializing in, and 2 lines about that. And 2 lines about what is your future. Future means, I'm doing this course because I foresee myself working in one of the Fortune 500 companies in the marketing team. And for that, I am currently associated with this institute, and these are the things I'm learning from here. Understand? So use that pattern, past, present, and future. So that's a kind of an elevator pitch for you to give whenever somebody asks you, okay, tell me something about yourself, like in a nutshell. You don't need to like completely elaborate.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Priya, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I am following few companies on LinkedIn because I wanted, I am seeing myself to be joining them in future somewhere. So I am connected with their HRs and I am just following all their posts and everything to know more about that company. But right now, I'm not sure what should I do next to get noticed to the HR and everyone there.
So, I mean, see, these are the things you're supposed to do, okay? Because, I mean, the end result, you can't predict the end result that, okay, I will follow everyone till 30th of September and I need some result. No, that should not be your objective. Your objective should be try and have interactions with them, so once you're connecting, see, these are the easy things which you're doing, connecting with them, sending connection requests, them accepting, liking, sharing. This is level 1. Go to the level 2. What is level 2? Probably try and have conversations with them. When I say conversations, probably ask that, hey, I've been following your post, I've been following your company and stuff. Can I probably talk to you sometime on a Saturday or on a Sunday for like 10 minutes just to understand, what is it that I can need? What is it that I need as a person, as a professional to join your company? I'm ready to wait. I'm ready to get mentored from somebody. Would you be able to guide me? Especially to an HR. So have those levels created for you, because right now what I've told you are all the easy levels, and which is something which a lot of people lack doing. So do that easy level, then go to level 2. The level 3 is your interview. So don't try to jump from level 1 to level 3 straight away. You don't expect that to come. So wait for it. It's a slow process, but being active and being visible is more important, because try and display what you do as much as possible on LinkedIn so that people reach out to you. So that should be your aim. This is what in social media, that's what people do. They expect people to reach out, and this is why they are kind of advertising themselves. What does big brands do? They all do the same thing. They advertise so that people reach out to them rather than they keep pushing them that, okay, use my product, you talk to me, I'm the best person. So the reason you're doing all this is so that some recruiter reaches out to you and say that, hey, I've seen so many content about yours and I see that you're doing this, you're doing that. Can I have a quick conversation with you? That's your end objective. Yeah.
Yeah, sir, got it. Thank you.
So what I can do is I can take probably one last question and probably we can end for the day. Let's see if anyone else, otherwise I'll probably request Pradnya ma'am to.
Yeah. So I think most of the questions have been answered, and I'm quite sure that if students do have, we will definitely find a forum or a way to reach you in case there are things that students want to get explained again. So that was a really wonderful session, Anup sir, and we're really grateful to professionals like you who come down every Saturday and share with us. So this webinar on Saturdays is like our window to the corporate world. So throughout the week we are learning concepts, and during the weekend we just get a window to peep into what is the reality. And thank you so much, sir, for taking us right from the scratch up to building up your profile and using this multi-dimensional real-time networking platform. We all are aware that Gen Z is very savvy with technology, but to make proper use and especially differentiate between all other social media platforms and LinkedIn, so it's like your own image that you're building. And as a part of the media committee, I would like to tell students that whenever we come across these sessions like these, please do write about it on your profile, because this is your professional connect, and as you build your brand, the institute brand also gets built automatically. So this is my job as a media committee person to encourage all of you to keep writing, and whatever sir has said about building your LinkedIn profile. So if you've not been doing it so far, I think all of us must think very seriously about it. And all those tips that sir has given, they were really useful right from the QR code point. I mean, I was also not aware that this could be done. So use all of it, and please do make use of it to build your profile on the platform, because the next big thing that these people are going to come across is their internships, and there will be definitely be a lot of competition there. So in order to differentiate yourself, you have to really make use of this platform. So thank you very much, sir, on behalf of the institute. And I would now request Samruddhi to propose the vote of thanks. Over to you, Samruddhi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is my immense pleasure to present the vote of thanks. I, Samriddhi Kulkarni, on behalf of Deccan Education Society, IMDR, would like to thank you, Anup sir, for giving us your time and insights on leveraging the power of LinkedIn. Sir, your session definitely helped us as we move towards our corporate career. You rightly mentioned that in today's day and age, we need to stay up to date to achieve our agenda and a final goal. LinkedIn profiles have now become our identities where we can bring all of our works and qualities to life. As we always say that one never stops learning, you made us realize how equally important it is to update these learnings on LinkedIn. I have been active on LinkedIn for the past few years, but I haven't been regularly engaging. And today I learned that it takes at least 7 interactions for me to be noticed in the organizations that I actually want to work for. And I think this is something that I definitely need to work on. I guess the first two tasks that everyone present here will be doing is following their 10 dream companies and optimizing the profiles with the tips that you have given us. Another key takeaway that we got today is to learn the basics of the most in demand soft skills and hand skills. I'm sure with these tips we will be able to optimize our LinkedIn profiles to meet our agendas and goals. I would also like to thank our director, faculty, non-teaching staff for continuously encouraging and supporting us for such corporate connect. I thank the entire student organizing team, technical support, and last but not the least, I thank all my student colleagues without whom this session wouldn't have been successful. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone have a great day and a great holiday ahead.
Yes, yes, thank you so much. In spite of a long weekend, all of us, I thank all the students and the audience for making it, and it was really a wonderful session. We hope to connect with you and in future also. And I would encourage at least a few students to write a few lines on LinkedIn, those who are good at writing and who are comfortable managing their profile currently, and tag the right people, including Anup sir. So we've just learned that if we need to be visible, we need to do these things. So that's it from my end. And thank you once again, Anup sir.
Thank you.
We can call it an end.
Absolutely.